Hello, everybody. I am Flecha, and New York Ranger fans around the world. Welcome to another edition of the Ranger Roundup. We are talking about Game 6 of the Eastern Conference Finals, which was held tonight in Madison Square Garden as the New York Rangers faced the Montreal Canadiens. And Ranger fans, it's time to celebrate. Your New York Rangers are going to the Stanley Cup Finals for the first time since 1994. The Rangers captured the Prince of Wales Trophy. They are the 2013-2014 Eastern Conference champions by winning the game tonight by the final score of 1-0. I am alongside, of course, my partner in crime, Anthony Florio, and we're just going to go right into the game. In the first period, it basically New York came out firing on all cylinders, looking to get the first goal, trying to get the upper hand in the game. Unfortunately, nothing went in on in that situation. The Rangers was on a brief power play after Brian Giunta basically ran himself right into Henrik Lundqvist and got a 2-minute penalty at 4:50 in the first period. And then the Rangers, Mark Stahl got called for interference against Thomas Platanek at the end of the first at the 19-minute mark, but neither team scored, and the Rangers outshot the Montreal Canadiens 11-5 in the first period. So Anthony, give us your quick thoughts about the first period.
Yes, hello friends. It is indeed ridiculously over Anthony Florio, along with the cerebral viper Michael Flecha. And forgive us if we have a little bit of a spring in our step because we've been waiting for this for a long, long time. And you know, first off, to quote Michael Bullock from last year, the Rangers are going to the Stanley Cup Finals. I cannot believe it. Like Derek Ferrera would have said right there with us. They had their moment last year, and guess what? Who would have thought 1 year later we'd actually get our moment? Wow, how unbelievable does that work, huh? But in all seriousness, though, I mean, first period, I mean, we saw the game, and yes, I mean, we were definitely the aggressors. We were definitely the aggressors, no question about that. I mean, it was missed opportunities. I mean, missed opportunities across the board. I mean, there were so many great opportunities, and Henrik Lundqvist definitely. Yeah, and he didn't have to do much. He only had to stop 5 shots, and he did just that. The giveaways also hurt us as well. Block shots definitely as well. But some great opportunities, but the New York just couldn't cash in. But but no, it was just no score there. So a good start to the game. I mean, it was a very good first period, and I said to Flex, if this keeps going the way it does, this could be we could have a situation where first goal wins, and lo and behold, first goal won. So that's all there is to it. So definitely a very good first period. I mean, we had a shootout last night in Chicago, which was a five-star classic. We had a five-star classic tonight, and let's just say it was deja vu all over again. I mean, it was just like last year. You all remember Game 4, Pittsburgh and Boston in Boston. Unsung hero scores the winner, and it ends up holding up. So who would have thought they would win the same way the Boston Bruins did in this round a year ago? Go figure that, huh? How's that for food for thought? So, but all in all seriousness, though, first period though, scoreless, but you definitely had to give it to the New York Rangers because I thought they outplayed Montreal in that first period. Montreal was definitely a little sluggish there. The Rangers definitely came out aggressive because they wanted to end it. They wanted to end it in front of the home fans. They wanted to feast on that home cooking. And we're gonna have a little. Speaking of feast, we're gonna have a little feast moment near the end of this, if you know what I mean, because we're trying to recreate the Boston Bruin moment from last year with Derek Ferrera and Michael Bullock. Flex couldn't really participate much in it because he was on the phone with his guy Alex Zapata, but that's the story for another day. But don't worry, we're gonna have our fun, but we got to be serious first. Business first, fun later. So unless you're authorized, you're authorized to have fun because you're entering fun zone tonight. So Flex, let's move on.
And then we go right into the second period. PK Subban draws a penalty. Basically, he interfered with Brad Richards that gave the Rangers a power play. Unfortunately, nothing really did there. And then Derek Broussard got tripped up by Alexei Markev. He goes into the box for 2 minutes. Nothing really doing at that point, and then it happened at 18:07. McDonough and Brian Boyle sets it up, a pass down in front for Dominic Moore. He slap shots right by the goalie. Sound the horn, sound the alarm, celebration erupts in the garden because the New York Rangers takes a 1-0 lead with that shot. And basically, that was the only scoring in the second period. And then Brad Richards basically does a bonehead move, gets a late penalty, hooking Thomas Vanek. But the shots were 8-8 in the second period. But more importantly, on the scoreboard, it was 1-0 New York going to the third. Anthony, it's yours. What did you think about that second period? And more importantly, break down the goal for us.
Well, the shots were 8-8 in the second period there, and just like the same thing. I mean, Montreal definitely came out a little more aggressive in the second period. I mean, they needed to. I mean, they were playing for their season here, sense of urgency. You've always heard me preaching about that as of late, but in the end, I mean, let's get to the goal here. I mean, I want to get to this. I mean, this was a thing of beauty. I mean, Martin St. Louis was covering PK Subban. I mean, he was covering him like a hawk. And then McDonough comes in, grabs the puck, gets it down to Boyle, and then Boyle finds a cunning Moore. See ya. There's your goal right there. That's your holdup. 18:07 of the second period, puts it past Tokarski. 1-0 for the Rangers. I mean, they almost had another. I mean, Richards had a great chance to, really add on, but nothing doing. But I mean, two things I want to observe here on that goal. One, Doc Emmerich absolutely lost his mind on that goal. You know how much we love Doc Emmerich's body of work. I mean, we all loved Gary Thorne 20 years ago, but oh man, I mean, boy, not only did he go nuts on that, but that crowd erupted when that goal went in. I mean, and I erupted, Flecha erupted. I mean, oh my goodness. I mean, the, the place lost its mind. I mean, when that goal went in, I mean, they knew they were on the verge of greatness and they were on the verge of something special here. I mean, this is a night 20 years. They've waited a long, long time for this through various stud enhancement teams, a lot of hard times. Twice before they came so close, but yet so far away. 1997, losing to the Legion of Doom Flyers with Lindros and them, and then the heartbreak of 2 years ago. But I mean, what heartbreak? I don't even remember that anymore. I mean, that's ancient history now, man. I mean, that seems like 20 years ago, not 2 years ago. I mean, yeah, I mean, I forgive that one. I mean, that one's gone. That one's so far out of my mind now, I don't even remember it anymore. So, but boy, howdy, I mean, what a goal by Moore. The setup and the execution, picture perfect, thing of beauty. That's all I can say about that. And yes, 1-0 for the New York Rangers after two. They had to start it on a power play. I mean, a boneheaded penalty at the end in which the Rangers had to carry over 148 of power play time into the third period. And let's just get to the third, man, and let's just wow. I mean, what a goal that was, and let's just get on to the third and how they broke it down.
Well, in the third period, there was only one penalty in the game. It was Brandon Pruss slashing against Anton Strawman as he just laid a lumber on him. But more importantly, normally you would think New York would probably be laying back. They would be like, oh, we got the lead, so let's play defense. No, they did not. New York was going for the knockout punch. They were going for the second shot. They outshot the Canadians 13-5 in the third period, but more importantly, they let the clock run out to zero. And yes, it's celebration time in all five boroughs of New York. The celebrations is raging on for New York Ranger fans from all around the world because the New York Rangers are the Eastern Conference champions. They win the game tonight 1-0. They wrap up the series and they win it 4-2. Just to give you a quick team stats here on the game, the New York Rangers was 0 for 4 on the power play. Montreal was 0 for 2. The hits, New York had the advantage 23-19. Face-off victories was 34-22. Advantage went to Montreal. Now here's the two key stats, Anthony. That I know you. There's three key stats that you were talking about that you really thought that Montreal had a legit shot, and here they are. Giveaways: New York 11, Montreal 8. Takeaways: New York had 10, Montreal had 5. But here's the one stat that you were talking about as well. Block shots: Montreal blocked 16 New York Rangers shots. New York blocked only 10 shots. The three stars of the game, probably no big surprise for us. Dustin Tarkovsky got the number three star with his 32 saves. He only gave up one goal, the which was basically not only just the only goal in the game, but the goal that ended the Eastern Conference Finals. Thank you, Dominic Moore, for that. The number two star went to Henrik Lundqvist. I think we all can agree he deserved that. And our number one star, well, there's only one thing to say. Dominic Moore. He is now the hero. He is the toast of the town. And you can say he is the Stefan Matteau, as he is the man who sends the New York Rangers to the Stanley Cup Finals. Anthony, give me your thoughts about the third period, and then just the overall stats. And do you agree with the three stars of the game?
Thoughts on the third period? I mean, we saw it. The Rangers went for the kill. I mean, they were going for the kill. I mean, and so many times they were close. I mean, nobody came closer than Derek Brassard. I mean, Brassard was the one who almost put it in the basket, and that would have really done it right there. But the 1-0 score held up. I mean, Henrik Lundqvist stood on his head. We outshot him 13-5 in that third period. I mean, this was where the Rangers went to work. I mean, the defense stepped up. I mean, Dan Louis was there. I mean, Hagelin was great tonight. I mean, I talked about it. A former fastest skater winner as part of an all-star skills competition festivity. I mean, he showed you why he won that when the year he did. And then, of course, a young man named Diaz. I mean, we don't know much about this Diaz kid, but this Diaz kid definitely had a solid game tonight. I mean, he definitely had some. We called his name a lot tonight, no question about that. And then, Montreal. Towards the very end, they pull Tokarski. They go for the 6-on thought. They go for the extra man there, the extra attacker, and no, Rangers didn't blink. I mean, they stood their ground. And then, what else is there to say? I mean, and then there were some bleak moments there. There was some moments I thought they were going to possibly screw it up and steal it, but no, they did not. That did not happen. Defense stepped up when they needed to step up the most. They clear the puck. The time runs down, and then the buzzer goes off. Henrik Lundqvist jumping in the air for joy. Dog pile on Lundqvist. The streamers come down in Madison Square Garden. And for the first time in 20 years, my friends, the New York Rangers are going to the Stanley Cup Finals. I mean, I got to say it. Someone slap me. Is this a dream? Is this a dream right now? Am I dreaming right now?
No, you're not dreaming, Anthony. It's real. It is
I,
damn real. We're going to the finals,
oh
kid.
my
Can you
God.
believe this?
I do not believe this. I mean, think of where this team was nearly 3 weeks ago.
I
Almost three
know.
weeks ago. They were down 3-1 against the Pittsburgh Penguins. And I'm like, yep, another season in the books. Going to be another long, hot summer for us. We're just going to have to sit here, and we're just gonna have to figure out what we're gonna do next year. I mean, I kept saying to myself, are we ever gonna get that break? I mean, when's it gonna be our turn? I mean, and you remember going into that Pittsburgh series, I said no chance because 4 previous times before the Rangers and Penguins met in the Stanley Cup playoffs, and each and every time before then the Penguins won. It was 3-1 going back to Pittsburgh for Game 5, and I'm like, we're done. It's over. Pack up the headsets. We're going home. We're all done here. Only one man believed. You're looking at him. Michael Flecha saw something. He's the only one who gave the Rangers a chance against Pittsburgh. I didn't. You believe. That's when you believe. That's when this whole thing started. I mean, 24 hours before Game 5, Martin St. Louis' mother passes away unexpectedly. That was one of your turning points right there. They built off that emotion. Went into Pittsburgh, they holiday hammed them 5-1, and then a masterful performance in Game 6 in the Garden, and then Game 7 in Pittsburgh. They get it done. Brad Richards with the winner there gets us to the Eastern Conference Finals, and then here in this series, they holiday ham Montreal, outscoring them 10-3 in the first two games. I mean, Kreider, yeah, he took out Carey Price, and that definitely changed the complexion of this series. I mean, if that doesn't happen, would we be celebrating right now? Would we be having to look toward a Game 7 in Montreal on Saturday night? No, that's not going to happen here and now. I mean, Martin St. Louis. I mean, we got him in the trade deadline. I mean, we had to give up Captain Cali to get him. Damn shame to let him go because Ryan Callahan was the heart and soul of our team. We had to let him go. It was hard.
Yeah, he was.
But
He was.
Martin St. Louis was reunited with Brad Richards 10 years ago in Tampa Bay. They brought the Tampa Bay Lightning their first and to this day only Stanley Cup championship. The only difference is it's not John Tortorella. It's Alain Vigneault. And he now joins the likes of Fred Shero, 1979, and Mike Keenan in 1994 as only the third first-year head coach of the New York Rangers to not only win 11 or more games in a single postseason year, but to also take that Ranger team to the Stanley Cup Finals. Only difference is this. Fred Shero could not get it done in 79. But then again, that Montreal team they had to deal with in 79, they were beast mode. And here's a little Tony fun fact for you. NBC analyst Brian Engblom was a member of that Montreal team in 79. Brian Engblom played for that team. Yes, he did. He didn't do much, but he's got a Stanley Cup ring to his credit. So, and of course, another great analyst that we used to know, John Davidson. He was the Ranger goaltender back in 79. And unfortunately, the series didn't go, the Rangers' way. But then in 1994, Mike Keenan, Rangers win the President's Trophy, Messier, the guarantee, they win the Stanley Cup. And all I can say is this. What a great way to honor the 20th anniversary. I mean, what do you think Mark Messier's thinking right now? What's Brian Leetch thinking right now? What's Adam Graves thinking right now? Esa Tikkanen, Alexei Kovalev, Sergei Zubov, Mike Richter, Glenn Healy. I could go on and on. Mike Keenan, or what about Neil Smith, the man who architected that team? Point is, what is every member of that 94 team thinking about right now? What's on their minds right now? I would love to know what's going through their minds right now as they see this team full of heart and full of guts. And compared to where this team was just 3 short weeks ago, on the verge of yet another playoff disappointment, who would have thought 3 weeks later they would be 3-1 down against Pittsburgh, have no chance whatsoever. Who would have thought they'd come back and win that series, and then go up against an upstart Montreal Canadiens team who defeated a damn good Boston Bruin team? And you wanted Montreal, Flecha. The gods must have been smiling on you because Montreal beat Boston, and you knew for a fact. You were like, we got a shot at this. And I'll be honest with you, I actually thought we had a chance. I obviously didn't have the utmost confidence, but I had like Woody Page likes to say on Around the Horn, a puncher's chance. I said maybe we could win this in 6. Look what happened. We won in 6. We won it at home. We won it in the Garden. We won it in front of the home fans. The home cooking has never tasted so good. And boy howdy, what a night. May 29th, 2014 is a night. I mean, this is a night that Ranger fans have waited 20 years. 20 long years. They've had to wait for this moment. Through dud enhancement teams. After the super team was split. After Gretzky retired and Messier retired and all those guys retired. It was a lot of hard times for us. I mean, it was a lot of, like I said, how many years did we have to endure dud enhancement seasons? A good 5, 6, 7 until we finally got back there in 06. And then, so close so many times. I mean, like I said, previously it was in 97. Eric Lindros, Michael Rember, John LeClaire, Ronnie Hextall, they ran roughshod on us. And then in 2012, we had that great team. We lose to Jersey, ripped our hearts out. I said I was contemplating leaving the Strictly Sports show we were doing that night. That's how brokenhearted I was. But I kept going because it was best for business. And I didn't want to, I didn't want to mess up Derek's plans. But I did. 2 years later, here we are, man. We're going to the Stanley Cup Finals. I mean, I still, it's still going to take some time for me to get used to here, but we're going to take some time. We're going to celebrate this one and then go back to work. Because on Wednesday night, on NBC Channel 10, right here in Providence, we started up. We got to go on the road yet again. We're going to have to start it in either the Staples Center in Los Angeles or at the Madhouse on Madison in Chicago. Some people would say I don't care. I kind of don't care, but I want to be honest with you. I'm kind of rooting for the Chicago Blackhawks because I want a Strictly Sports buddy. I want it to be myself and Michael Flecha, our good friend Eric Peterson, and the rest of Ranger Nation against Matt Ward and the Chicago Blackhawks. I mean, how fun would that be? If you thought Boston and Chicago was epic last year, just imagine how epic it would be if New York and Chicago can wage yet another Original Six Stanley Cup final. But if LA gets there, I wouldn't mind that either. But I will say this. If we go up against LA, again, I will give us a puncher's chance. Not necessarily going to be confident because LA has been absolutely on fire. Especially another old friend of ours, Marion Gaborik, who has been absolutely tearing it up and is definitely a front runner for the Conn Smythe that they should go all the way for the second time in 3 years. If it's Chicago, I know we went 2-0 against them in the regular season, but honestly, I wouldn't like our chances because we all know how damn good Chicago is. Defending champs, Crawford, Innette, Tays, Kane, Sharp. How are we going to contain them? You never know. Then again, I didn't give us a chance against Pittsburgh, and look what happened. We beat Pittsburgh, the first time ever in the playoffs. Second straight time we beat in Montreal. 18 years. I mean, we're right here, man. 4. That's the magic number. Like the horse. 4. We win 4 more times. It's party time. Cue those Party City banners on the Facebook, man. Because we can win 4 more times. Doesn't matter if we do it in LA or Chicago. Personally, you know me, I want it in the Garden. That's where I want it. If we're going to do it again in the Garden. That's what I want. I want it to be in the Garden. But then again, road teams have been dominant in these Stanley Cups over the past years. But here it is. 4 more wins. And the chance of 1994, see ya. There's going to be a new chant. And it's going to go 2014. And that's exactly what it's going to be. 2014. Is this the year that the New York Rangers bring it home for the first time since the most emotionally charged Stanley Cup win of all time in 1994? That would have been surpassed if the Boston Bruins had won last year, considering what that city went through at this time a year ago. And still going through to this day. But, boy howdy, man. This was our Boston strong moment tonight. Only it was New York strong. And this was New York strong at its finest. A 5-star class. Not only was it a 5-star classic of a game, but I said it on my Facebook and I'm going to say it again in front of all of you. What the New York Rangers did tonight was the most personal, best performance I have ever seen. This was a team win tonight. It wasn't about one man. It wasn't about Henrik Lundqvist. It wasn't about Dominic Moore. It was a total 100% grade A money back guaranteed team effort tonight. And that was a 5-star performance by this team tonight. Are we a team of destiny? We just might be. We could be. But then again, I said the same thing about the Boston Bruins, but what happened? They came up short. So this time around, I'm not saying anything. I'm going to do the right thing. This is sort of like me not touching the Prince of Wales trophy. I'm not going to touch this one. Do I want it? Hell yes, I want it. Does Michael Fletcher want it? Hell yes, he wants it. Does our good friend Eric Peterson want it? Yes, he does. Does Ranger Nation want it? You better believe it. 4 more wins, boys. 4 more wins. It's not going to be easy. Whoever comes out of LA and Chicago, you know they're going to be the favorite. Not just because they have the home ice, but because of the stacked rosters these teams have. Jonathan Quick, Corey Crawford, 2 dynamic goaltenders. Tay, Sharp, Kane for Chicago, Keith and them. And you can't forget about, Antti Kopitar, Marion Gaborik, another old friend, who I wish was still in our uniform, but we had to trade him away. I mean, he was part of the Nash trade, but wow, who would have thunk it? We're in the Stanley Cup Finals. We're this close, man. Boy, howdy. If you think we're impossible now, just wait and see how impossible we're going to be. If that 35 pounds of silver is won by us. Think about that. Oh my God, what a night. A
You
night
know
to
what?
remember. Like you said last year, Fletch. A night to remember. You said that last year when the Bruins won.
I did.
A night to remember for the fans of New York tonight. 1 year ago, Michael Bullock and Derek Ferreira, they had their moment. We celebrated with them. Although Fletch was on the phone, I celebrated with Derek and Bullock. And Fletch, like they did on that night, we feasted on that home cooking. And you know what? We got to do it. In the immortal words of Ryback, please feel free and join me. But you know where I'm going
Hold
with this.
on, hold on, hold on. Before we do it, I actually just got a text just minutes ago. This is actually from Michael Bullock himself, and he says, and I quote, "Congratulations to you and to Anthony Florio on the New York Rain. Let me see if I can get it. On the New York Rangers going to the Stanley Cup Finals." That's from Michael Bullock himself. He just posted that, and I actually got something that I want to post, and there's two bits of things I want to do. So first off, for all you New York Ranger fans, no, I have my little cell phone here, and I normally carry it. I think they say a picture is worth 1,000 words. Hopefully this comes up. Actually, wait a minute. Let me try to drop this down. Let me see if you guys can see it, if I can play it, and get a look at that. The New York Rangers
Yeah.
with the Prince of Wales Trophy, with the Deputy Commissioner alongside him. But Anthony, there's one more thing I wanted to show you, and I think New York Ranger fans, you are going to love this. Get a look at the 2014 Eastern Conference Championship shirt. This is actually on Twitter right now on the Broadway hat. So Anthony, now we can do it. Feed me more!
Come on.
Feed me more!
Come on.
Feed me more! Feed me more!
More. Done.
Done!
Bring on the
Finished!
Kings of the Blackhawks, baby.
And you know what the bring on the Kings of the Blackhawks. We want the cup, and we're gonna get it. It starts next Wednesday night, and that means we're off until then. So until then, for Anthony Florio, I am Michael Flecha. Thank you so much for watching this. New York Ranger fans from around the world, it's celebration time. Your
Yes.
New York
Yes.
Rangers
Yes.
are
Yes.
once again the 2000 the 2013-2014 Eastern Conference champions. They win the title tonight by the final score of 1-0. We will see you guys. Well, we'll find out who our opponents are either tomorrow night if the Kings win it, or it will be on Sunday night whenever there's a game 7. So until then, for Anthony Foyle, I'm Michael Fletcher. Hugs and hand pounds, everybody. We out, Ranger Nation. Good night. Congratulations to you guys as well.
Yes.
We are going to the Stanley Cup Finals, and maybe 4 more to go. Good night, Ranger Nation.